A hearty welcome to all of us as we come to this church, celebrating our 100 years since our three sisters landed. For the benefit of our sisters, the Kasisi sisters, firstly, we are very grateful that you are joining us, but we'd like to share with you the joy we have that the Dominican church was planted here on the 27th of October 1924, when Sisters Hyacinth, Clever, and Bernadette came here. And since then, the Dominican torch has been burning. We praise and thank the Lord. The three sisters are symbolized by these three clay pots. When they came, they offered themselves. In humility, they offered whatever they did, whatever they said as a fragrant sacrifice to the Lord. They were vessels, but carried something precious. A very compassionate orphanage here, where many children come. But we are told in our history, the first orphan was taken care of by our sisters a long time ago when they came in 1928. So she planted the seed for the many children that have been in this orphanage. And we are grateful to the Kasisi sisters for continuing that mission that our sisters started. Even the schools, the catechism, when our sisters came, they came to just evangelize, and they were very anxious to know the language so that they could communicate their experience of the divine that they experienced within them. We are grateful for everything that our sisters did, for everything that our sisters have carried on doing, following on the footprint that the sisters brought here in 1924. We are grateful to the Jesuits who are represented by Father Jacob, the parish priest. They are the ones that invited our sisters in 1924 to come here. So they worked in unison with God's plan for us that we should be here. Sisters, we are standing on their shoulders. If they didn't come, we wouldn't be here as Dominican sisters.
They were shaping me for something that I didn't really know until I came out of the convent and I'm in society and I became a teacher. So every time I'm handling a child in class, I'm thinking, what else can I do to make the best or take out the best out of this child? And that's why I chose a career path. Instead of just doing teaching, I went into counseling and I started doing. I really wanted to specialize in psychology so that I understand the mind of a child.
That sense of belonging, the sense of togetherness, and a high sense of sincerity, I think that is what we really got pushed down the throat, and yeah, we swallowed it, and yes, believe you me, we are fattening and we are okay. This is something we've carried to society, and I'm really glad to have been a part of the Dominican sisters' teachings.
On one of the walls of Fatima, I think it was in Block 1, was the sisters had different posters on the walls, and one of them caught my attention and affected my life then and still does. And this was the poem Desiderata. In one of the paragraphs of Desiderata was the message, you are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the skies. You have a right to be there. You have a right to be here. And that was my confidence in Fatima. I went into classroom knowing that I wanted to succeed, very confident, and I worked hard. And I realized if I worked hard, I had very good marks, and I enjoyed that. So I worked even harder, and I saw that if I worked even harder, I had even better marks, such that I would even get some awards at the end of the year in some subjects as best student.
To Fatima in 1992, trained under the Dominicans. I learned patience because I was a very angry person. I was just always angry. I never talked, but I reacted. I stopped being violent. I became very patient. I'm a people person.
So Sister Kojula heard about my story, and there's this brilliant girl. She's quite good and she's very active in church. She's a good girl, but this is the problem we have. She is owing the school a lot of money, and when she heard the story, she didn't say anything to me. I walked around the school wondering when they'll just give up on me and send me back home. So when I was in grade 10 now, on credit, she comes and she calls me and says, I need to see you. And you know, like everyone has described Sister Kojula, she was beautiful, stern, but nice. And when she calls you, you're like, what is it now? I knew I had not done anything wrong because I tried. At least, if I can't afford, at least let me be at my good behavior. So I knew it couldn't be something I've done. But maybe finally the school is just saying, Marina, your time is up here. We can no longer, keep you under other people's support. So she notices that I'm uncomfortable. So she decides to change the venue because she called me to her office. She says, do you want to take a walk? And I said, oh God, what is this now? And she took me on a walk and she says, Marina, I've been talking to families in Germany, and I've managed to find a family or two that are willing to not just pay your debt, but also see you through until you finish your grade 12. Wow. I don't know, unless you've been to that point, you have no idea. It didn't sink in immediately. I didn't even know what it meant, whether to jump, whether to hug sister. I didn't even react at the moment, but if you've been to a point like that in your life where you actually think they're now going to test me, and then it was like light had just come into my life. And all she asked me was, I don't want you to worry about your school fees anymore. I just want you to focus on your school and being the best version of yourself. Fast forward to grade 12, I get honored as the best student of the year. The only person I was thinking of when I was getting that award was Sister Kojula. From the moment she died, I haven't spoken to anybody because I felt I'm going to dilute my experience with her and what she has done in my life. Today, I am a country manager for Zambia Fleet Services. I can't tell that story without Sister Kojula and the sisters in it.
I am who I am today because of what the Dominican nuns taught us. Through the memories of what the nuns taught us, nothing is hard. I went into politics and became a member of parliament for Kanchiwia. Later got appointed as Minister of Community Development and Social Welfare. Was later transferred to the Ministry of Lands and Environment. And the last ministry I served was the Ministry of Higher Education, Science and Technology and Vocational Training. Later, I was humbled and honored to have been appointed as High Commissioner to Tanzania with extra accreditation to Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, East African Community, Lake Tanganyika Authority, and Great Lakes region. Later I was transferred to become High Commissioner to India with extra accreditation to Myanmar, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Singapore. And all this resilience is as a result of the upbringing that my mother sent me through, and of course, on the other part, I want to be grateful to the Dominican nuns and the Catholic Church for having molded me into the person I am today. That I've been able to give back to the Catholic community through charity works and also to my country.